Welcome back, everyone. Mike McConville here one more time for String Tech. We've got Lucas's Les Paul Special. Frets are leveled, recrowned, and polished. I have roughed in the compensated nut blank. This will be 10 to 52, tuned to E flat, half step down. So this is the aftermarket bridge, and as you can see, it's sort of pre-sculpted for the intonation, but it did need to be touched up a little bit. When Lucas dropped off the guitar, he had already put an extra ball end, slipped it onto the length of the string so that the return wind on the string, you can see the leftover of this one, and that's with 2 ball ends. The way this bridge is sculpted, you have to make sure that it's the natural diameter of the string that rests at the focal point all the way across. Lucas had mentioned that he'd seen it on my channel. He watches my channel regularly, and he figured it out himself that he needed to put an extra ball end to sort of pull that around. And I put an additional ball end, 2 ball ends on that string to make sure it pulled back. And you can see, I don't know if the camera's showing this or not, but you can see even here there's a little bit of space where the return wind is resting right at this point. Same with this one. The D string needed to be relieved to ensure that the focal point was chased right to this outside edge. So I did actually file that out a little bit. I did actually need to file that back a little bit to get this one to intonate. So the 2 outside strings were set up first. You can see that this side of the bridge was pulled back quite a bit to get that low E to line up. Now these are 10 to 50 gauge strings, so they're kind of light top, heavy bottom, and it's tuned to E flat. So in order to make this work, I did have to adjust slightly this B string. I had to chase that right to the edge, filed it out a little bit. The D string, same thing. The G string, I had to actually file it back a little bit to lengthen it slightly to get it to calibrate 100% like you just saw. First string was fine, 6th string was fine. So that's what we did with the bridge. And as you saw earlier in the video, I had masked it off, did a complete fret dress end-to-end, recrowned and polished. It is beautiful right now. The truss rod on this particular neck works flawlessly. It easily handles the 10 to 50 string and has full adjustability. This is the compensated nut and the values for the 10 to 50 gauge string tuned to E flat. The 6th string pretty well lined up with the end of the fingerboard. It's back a little bit of a negative value. The A was definitely negative value, and the 2 middle strings did need to cantilever. They were positive values. They came over the end of the fingerboard a little bit. As per usual, the B string actually has a negative value, and the high E also cantilevers a little bit. So you've basically got 1, 2, 3 strings with positive values that pass the end of the fingerboard, and 3 strings with negative values, the B, the A, and the low E. Let's go plug this in and have a listen. Okay, so there's a 2-part vamp. The first part is the verse, I guess you could call it. It starts with the A6th chord and B minor 7 to C sharp minor 7 over G sharp. Second time through to an E13. Does that twice. So the bridge, I guess you could call it. The loop, we'll let that play and I'll just blow over top.